Welcome back to another thrilling episode of something or other. Anyway, so we left off with having just put in the holes for the lights and the holes for the buttons and the back holes, the insets and for the LED display, and we also put in the speaker slot and the holder. And the Arduino Nano supports. So, I think we've done probably quite good on this. Um, I guess we can figure out what to do with putting the battery in here and maybe figure out what to do at the top here. Now, originally at the top, let me log back into my Tinkercad here so I can use it as a reference. Okay. Now, in the past, when it came to Tinkercad, what I came up with was either, let's see, 6 slots around, which would give me the ability to have lights sticking out through the um, end of it, so that it would have some lights to go with the whole thing. And then there's also the one that I have, which has, I think, 12 slots. They're about half the size, plus some little squares where the hinges fit. And I actually had some pedals kind of things that would open up, and and a slider that would push them up and down. And that's a lot of mechanics to be putting into it just at the moment. So I'm still working out the hinges and the um let me see if I can move this out of the way. The hinges and the pedals, and as you can see in the thumbnail, the pedals were actually pedal shaped. Um and I'd still like to do that. And that might just be a variation. But currently, I just want to get it functional, and then I can work on variations. Maybe what I can do is put a twist lock underneath the pedals, and that way you can switch out the tips versus, having it permanent. You can just pull the tip off, and you could plug in the lights in the tip or something, or it will have lights already in it. You just, push the tip in and twist it to lock it in place. And then the pedals, not sure how we would work that, whether they're stuck open or if you can um, twist a ring to make them pop open or something like that. Uh, but until then, let's see here. Okay, it's that SimLab. That's what I was looking for. Okay, and why does that not work? Go back. There we go. Those should have fallen. I don't know if you can see that or not, but let me see if I can switch the camera here. Where's it at? Doesn't appear to be letting me switch it that easily. Okay, well, anyway, I was using Tinkercad's SimLab to figure out how the pedals would fall into place and on the hinges and such. And at this point, I don't even know if they're going to work that way. I had a good idea for the platform with the hinges to attach to. But anyway, let's just move on from that for now. We'll just go with 6 slots around, and we can always make adjustments, different designs for the tip of it. But for now, we'll just go with 6 slots, and we'll maybe do a little bit of decoration or something. So let's see here. how are we going to do this? So if we're going to do this, we want to, I'm going to do a sketch here on this surface. And I'm going to expand it out to the edge here, um, because we want it to, uh, that's right. That's probably okay. And then what we'll do is we'll extrude that. And let's see, we can go up. On the other one, I had it roughly about that far, that tall, and slots in it. The slots were going to be inset with transparent um, insert so that it would provide some protection to the lights as well as something to shine through rather than just empty slots. So let's see, let's go with 50 millimeters just so we have an even number. And go with that. So that would be, I'm wondering if I need to shrink down this section here a little bit. Because looking at the Tinkercad model, it's definitely a lot shorter. Hmm. Let's see if I were to go to, let's see, where is it at? Go up here, go to sketch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What is that? Oh, that's the little slot thing right there. Okay. Let's see. Okay, that's that. Okay, I think that right there is when we okay, that was that. That was extrude, revolve, extrude. Let's see, how did that go? Extrude 4, okay. 3, 6. Kind of hard to say, actually. Let's go back to this and delete that for the moment. That's not what I meant. Okay, undo that. Undo that. Thank you. Sketch 17. Let's delete that for the moment. Okay, so instead of doing that, this thing to catch up here, what we're going to do is we're going to grab this surface here, extrusion 5. And we're going to adjust it. And we're going to adjust it like so. Actually, that's the wrong direction. I didn't tell it to grab those. I think I know what's going on here. Okay. Extrude, sketch, extrude, sketch, extrude, sketch. Extrude sketch. Hmm. Missing the face of sketch 5. Okay, we'll just have to, instead of having to reverse it, we'll just remove it. Okay, remove. We're going to go down. That looks pretty good right there, actually, but we're going to go down a little further. Okay, we're gonna cut it off right there. That still gives us room for the Arduino, the speaker, which actually gives us more room to reach it, plus the LCD screen there. And I'm going to go ahead and re-add the sketch. This surface. And we're going to go ahead and add the circle again to this, and this circle to this. So I think I may go in a little bit here. And that way I can slide it in. And let's see, extrude that. And we'll go ahead and drag that up a bit. All right, so we're going to leave it at that point there. 50. We'll go with 50. Let's have an even number. Okay. Now we have a 50 millimeter extension on the end of it, which I would like to think I'm going to probably should have made that smaller so I can make a. We'll just leave it there for now. Well, maybe I'll print one out like this, and then I'll print one out without the thing with a slot that you can insert it, because I've done that before. Okay, so let's see here. Uh, okay, so that's fairly, what do you call, generic, I guess, but that would allow grip, and it would allow some customization, some painting. I've in the past I've tried using Blender to add texture to the uh, handle, but that was not very successful. And basically had to just leave it as is. And what I might do is use the fuzzy function in the 3D printer to make this. Well, actually, if I did that, it would make the whole thing that way. Of course, I may also just turn this into a insertable piece. But right now, we're not going to. Okay, so let's go ahead and do some slots. Let's see how we're going to do this. Okay, we're going to sketch on this surface again. And we're going to create some triangles. Let's see, how are we going to do this? If I do this straight, it'll be at an angle through the wall. But that's pretty much the way scribe polygon, circumscribe polygon. Aligned rectangle, which I think allows you to put it at an angle. But I'm just going to go with the basic one here, and we'll just go ahead and do that. Okay, so I'm going to do this. All right, and we're going to put it in a pattern, circular pattern. And we're going to, where did I see it? Three. There we go. So now we got 3 of them. So now we want to do 6. The only reason I chose 6 is because um, it gives enough spacing to show off, but at the same time doesn't crowd it too much. Okay, so that does that. Okay. What this is going to do is it's going to extrude. I'm going to extrude it in reverse, and it's going to slot this down here. And then I'll just put a cap on it. Okay, so call it 6 is good. And we're going to extrude, remove. Hello. Why is it not doing it? Okay. It looks like I have to select them. All right. Well, it is what it is. There we go. Okay. That, that, that. What a pain. Hope that doesn't interfere with that speaker slot. Nope. Okay. All right. So we've got it slotted. Yeah, accept that. All right. And now I could go back and slot it even deeper. As a matter of fact, I think I will. A little bit deeper. See what that looks like. That's too much. Last time I did this, those were really weak. And of course, when I tried to push the insert through the holes, it would snap it because when I was printing it, the layers were this direction and the shear line was this direction, so it was really easy to snap them off because they're not really all that thick. Let's see. Let's go for 45. Sorry, 35. That looks better. I like that. Okay. Accept that. And we're going to put a cap on it. Okay, sketch. And we're going to sketch it on this surface here. Ta-da. And we're going to go here to that. And to that. Okay, and we're going to extrude that. So the question now is, how far do we want to extrude it? We can go down a bit here because we don't want it to be huge. So that look pretty good. How about 10? Let's go with 10. That looks pretty good, I think. It gives us some nice slots to show off lights. Now we have a slot for the speaker. You got the LEDs, the LCD, the LEDs, the buttons, the speaker, the slots for the lights. Which, if we do this right, if depending on how we want to do it, we can make it rotate around this thing here. But what I'm thinking is, if I'm going to do that, there has to be there's a light, there's a PC board that you can get that has 5 or 6 lights on it, LED lights that are really bright, and you could line them up with the slots and then mount it in here on a little platform and run it, and it would be extremely bright. So I'd probably have to underdrive it so it doesn't melt anything, but it would allow it to light this up here. And I would like to put something in here. But the problem is, what? because, on one hand, David Tennant's got a gem right there, a blue gem. Um, Matt Smith has a green gem. Technically, I could just create a holder for you, whoever wants to print this out can put whatever color gem they want in there if they want to put a gem. Um, but let's leave it like this for now, and we'll work on that later. Okay, so now let's work on the bottom here. How are we gonna do this? In the past, what I had was something that looked like a little acorn. Um, and the acorn kind of was part of another circular piece and just kind of wedged up in there. I don't know if I want to do that or if I want to just plug it normally. I mean, the problem is that there's options, choices. And I guess technically speaking, as long as I made it fit, I could make variations, or anybody else could make a variation of their own to plug in there. But, at least the basic would be this, um, as well as this up here. So, y'all could download this and you could modify it. And I think the important part would be to either hold on to the speaker and the buttons and stuff like that section and modify around that, but it's your choice. So let's see. So what do I want to do here? I think what I'm going to do, because I don't have anything planned for the plug at the bottom yet, and I've got this up here. We still need to see. Normally, the last time I did this, I wanted to make these inserts, the insert that goes inside here, to actually stick through the holes with like little islands that would fill in the holes, but it turned out to be really difficult to get those to fit properly without breaking something. So this time I think I'll just create a sleeve and it fits inside and call it good. Um, I think I'll export this, bring it into Tinkercad, section it, and then I can 3D print this section here, and then I can work on putting the buttons in and soldering it in place and testing it to make sure it works. And then once it does work, I'm not sure if I'm going to split it lengthways and print it, or if I'm going to split it horizontal and print it. Although, if I split it horizontal, I can make it to where it slides in, wedges in place, or just leave it as is, and then cut this off and make it where it pushes in and wedges in place or at least for the time being, unless I want to make this as one piece. But if I make it as one piece, it's going to be really hard to get the Arduino board in there easily, as well as the buttons and stuff. So I would prefer, hello, where'd it go? To take that top piece off. And I would actually prefer to take the bottom piece off. But maybe what we should do is section it here or here, one side or the other of this slot here, and make like a little cap. And you can take it off and you can attach, everything to it. And then you would push it, then you would put it back on, and maybe there would be like screws or something like that, or maybe even a little band around here and a band down here that would hold it in place. The problem is you don't want to do anything that's overly crazy looking. Although, was it Dr. 13? Was it Dr. 13? Jodie Whittaker? Hers was very much non-standard looking. It was very much handmade and almost organic, and it had a crystal. Um, but I don't know if we want to do that with this. I mean, I guess whoever decides to grab this and download it, and they could modify it. But I think the important part of this is the buttons, the LCD screen, the speaker, the Arduino slot. Those are the important parts, I think. Everything else can be modified around those. Um, so let's see, if I were to split this down the center here, uh, I would have to um, make some sort of a lip under here for this to, on both of them, to sit on, and I don't know that it's thick enough for that. Hmm. Maybe I should just cut this off here and then call it good, and you can use, tweezers or chopsticks or whatever to place things inside here. I would like to cut it off here and make it to where you could get in from this end as well. That would really be useful, but that's going to take some doing to work that out. Because I think I'm going to have to readjust the revolution or the revolve here, the sweep here, whatever it is, to pull it out slightly so that it leaves like a lip just like down here, but up here. And that way we have the ability to create a lip that slips in there. In which case, if that happens, then we could glue it in place once we're done, or um, have some screws on the sides or something like that you could screw in. It would lock it in place. But more work. That's not exactly what this time on the computer is for. So that's going to be very much trial and error testing to see what kind of, how much I've got to adjust the slot that it goes into, plus the lip that goes into the slot, as well as the top to do the same thing if you want to have all three of these where they just push together and then have like a little screw on the sides, whatever to hold it in place, which is not a bad idea, because I mean, I've got inserts, um, heat inserts with screws, which I could do that with. Um, what I might do is duplicate this on another page and section it. Matter of fact, I think I will. Let's see. Duplicate. Copy one. All right, so since I got a copy now, and it's not going to affect the other one. Okay, let's go to extrude this, remove. I'm going to go down to not sure. Let's go with 60 millimeters since we've already got a round number there. That'll just make it nice and consistent. Okay, so we remove that. And let's go to the bottom. Okay, and we're going to remove this as well. So we're going to remove that. Okay. All right, so let's see. Call that good. Okay, so now that I've got this piece here, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this one. And on this page here, I'm going to go ahead and uh, I think I'll use this to drag it down and clear that and make another piece that I can throw into another assembly, another part. So this one here should only be the section we had left over. Today, there we go. Okay. So with this one here, I can go ahead and section it, figure out where to cut it, which would probably be, actually, I don't think we need to cut it. We just need to put a insert or inset here for the lip to come down into. Okay, so we'll come back to that in just a moment. Go back to this one. All right. This. Okay, remove. Yep, it's going to look funny, no doubt. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, cancel that. Sketch on top of here. We're going to throw a big cylinder here. We can just drag it down. Okay, boom, boom, like that. Okay. Remove. It should have hit that. It's interesting. I wonder why I didn't hit those. Oh well, not a big deal. All right. So I'm going to go down to here. Right. And we're going to call that good. And we're going to make a insert right there. I should get rid of those. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and make an insert there. So actually, technically speaking, that should be the correct size. We don't want to really cut into this wall. So we're going to figure out how far we want to go in. So let's see, top, sketch here. We're going to make a circle that goes up to this. And we're going to make another circle that goes let's go with 2 millimeters just so we can make sure that it's roughly 2 millimeters. Okay, now we want to go extrude other direction. And we're going to go with 10 millimeters. 10 millimeters. That's pretty good, yeah. Okay, so we're going to call that 10 millimeters. That's a good size. Yeah, we're going to leave We'll leave that there. We're going to go back to the other assembly. We're going to add one on this end here. Sketch. Okay. Yeah, just like that. We're going to see here. Yeah, that works. Okay. And then we're going to turn that off. Extrude that. 10 millimeters. Maybe we should give it some more to attach to. So this is the problem I ran into last time. It was hard to, so once you've got an inside diameter, if you create something that's on the inside diameter, it's the only edge connection is right here on the outside. And you can either drop it in further, which we could, except that there's that block right there. I could drop it in and slot it for that. But let's see, how about symmetric? 20. Okay, so now we got a 10 millimeter drop in and a 10 millimeter outwards, and that right there will attach to the insert pretty good. That works. So I'm going to have to put a slot right here and drop it down, or I'm going to have to put a slot up here and drop it down. But I think it's going to be here. Although I'm not sure. Yeah, if I were to put just a couple lines and then grab that section and move it down. Although I could do it from the other end, I think. So let's go with this. And let's see, it goes right there. Top. Okay, so what we're going to do next is sketch on the surface, draw some lines. Okay, and we're gonna do that and see if I can extrude it from the other direction. Remove. Okay, so that goes all the way out there. I don't think we want to do that. So I'm going to move it back a bit here, and we're going to drag it down to that surface right there. So that way it's got support, but yet still clears the buttons. I think that'll be good. Okay. It's good there. Of course, when I attach it, well, it's going to print with it. So let's go ahead and attach that. Did I do that? How'd that work? Okay. Boolean union. Did that work? I don't know. It does not seem like it did. Boolean union. Okay, do not intersect or totally contain. How about intersect? Nope, those are the ones that intersect. Okay. So apparently what I need to do is adjust the size of the outer circle there. I guess I put it too far in, forgot that I was making it a part of it. Okay, so sketch 20. Okay, let's go ahead and go with 33. 33. Come on. All right. Well, that's not cooperating. Okay, well, let's see. Sketch 19. Which one is it? Okay, got to figure out how to change the diameter there. That's measurement. Is it not working? Let's see, dimensions. Where is it showing dimensions? All right, let's see, part 6. Where's it at? There. Okay, how about this one? Show dimensions. Okay, that's, what is that one? What does that show? That's 4, 13, 20. Show dimensions. Why isn't it showing dimensions? Not fully defined. Edit. Yeah. Huh. Why is it not? No, we don't want to do that. We don't need to do that. What we need to do is change that sketch dimension, but can't seem to change it. Okay, there's 19. Where's extrude 20 here? Okay, that's where I took that away. Okay. Sketch 21. That's those two marks right there. So let's see, cancel that. Sketch 19. It's got to be that one. It's not letting me do it. Okay, we're gonna have to do that again, I guess. So delete that, that, that. Okay, let's do it again because it's not cooperating. Okay, sketch, do this. Okay, circle. Okay, put it in here a little bit. Okay. We'll have to make an adjustment for that. Let's put it at, oh heck. Try that again. 33. There we go. Okay. Now we can do this. And we can do 29. Make a nice even number. And we can use that as the wall for when we push it in to the other part. But now that we've got an overlap here, we should be able to extrude and make it one piece. Okay, symmetric. Yep, see, it's gray now. Okay. And it's, let's see, 20. There we go. All right, got that. Go back down here. Sketch. Too bad I had to go in and do this all again because I wasn't thinking ahead. Okay, let's see here. All right, and turn that off, extrude. What was that? Okay. Opposite direction. Remove. Okay, and we're going to go down to here. Come on, catch up. There we go. Bring this back down to here. Okay, so that's attached. That should clear. And it's been sectioned and it's all one piece now. There we go. That looks pretty good. Oh, that good. Bottom. Okay. Ta-da. There we go. That looks good. So now we have a insert, which is 33 millimeters in diameter. So, and 10 millimeters deep. Now, that being said, I don't know that we have 10 millimeters worth of insert on this one. Looks like we do though. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and see. I'm going to have to remove some material. So delete that, and delete that. Okay, and we're going to go with a sketch on that surface, top. And we're going to create a circle at 33. And then we're going to extrude that down. Take that circle out. Okay. Opposite direction. Remove. Probably should just hit remove 10 millimeters. Interesting. I put it at 33. That should have hit. Cancel that. Sketch. Okay, and that should, yep, that overlaps it now. Okay, and let's see, extrude, remove 10 millimeters, 11. That way we don't have, that way it doesn't bottom out on this and leave a gap. Okay, that's good. So now we have that. So now we can push it in, wedge it in, or slide it in, whatever you want to do, and we can put a screw hole in 3 different places or something like that, and that way we can lock it in place. Okay, so now that we've got that, and we've got this part, and we've got that piece made to slide in. What is that diameter? 33 millimeters, 33.1. Okay, so that should fit. Okay. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to extrude this piece. Or not extrude, 3D print with these parts. Technically, they should have melded together, but let's go ahead and Boolean them. Use Boolean to stick them together. There we go. Now we got part. Part 2, I think, is the, yeah, that's the Arduino board. Okay, so part 1, it's gonna be interesting to print this. Okay, let's see. Export. STL. Okay. See, I've already been working on it previously, but yeah. So let's see. Sonic screwdriver. Middle. I didn't do that already, did I? Front, back. Nope. Okay, it looks like I'm okay. All right. So let's go ahead and pull that up in the slicer. See how long it's going to take to print. Oh, let me go ahead and switch this to, hopefully, the slicer. New project. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Import. There was a middle, not the one we're looking for. Sonic screwdriver middle. There we go. Okay, so it is a bit on the large side. We may end up having to adjust. But for now, this is mainly the test piece for us to be able to mount the Arduino, the LCD screen, and the buttons, and the speaker, and make sure everything works properly. And then we can print the other pieces and push them in place. I also still have to figure out how I'm going to do lights from the Arduino and how we're going to do that, whether it's going to be multicolors or if it's just going to light up in one color and rotate around. I don't know yet. But anyway, let's see what this does. Okay, that's probably should flip that over to make it easier. So we don't have to worry about pulling off supports here and causing any extra material that's going to get in the way. Let's see. Okay. All right, let's see what we got here. Supports is on, tree slim. Okay. Um, we never did put an insert in there. Maybe I should go ahead and do that before I do anything else. Let's go ahead and go back to Art Studio. Okay. Where's it at? Here we go. Okay. Let's go ahead and put in the 10 millimeter cut in here so that it'll match up. I forgot to do that. Top, sketch, this surface. And we're going to 33.1. And we're going to extrude that and remove it at 10 millimeters. That's pretty good. Call that good. So now we have a 10 millimeter depth, 33.1 millimeter diameter piece there that we can put on the other piece, the tip that slides in there, and then we can wedge it in there or screw it in there, however we want to do it. But now it's there, so now we should be able to go ahead and print it. So let's go back to Orca. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and reload this. Okay. Okay, maybe we need to just bring it back in. Okay. Did I save it? I don't think I did, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Let me just save this real quick. Export. That's what I forgot to do. I forgot to save it. Okay, now I should be able to go ahead and reload it from disk. And now I should have the little slot right there. So we should be able to flip it over, and we shouldn't need any kind of supports for that. Although we probably will have supports for that. That's okay. So that's good there. And I like to move it towards the front of my bed because for some reason it doesn't print very well in that section. So I like to move it to the front like that. Okay, and slice. That's going to take about 4 hours. That's not bad. Um, Although it is going to have support in there, which is annoying, but that's not a surface we have to put anything on. So it's going to have looks like it's got supports for the holes, except for that one. Don't really need supports for those, but you know. It's got support for the LCD window. It's got support for the speaker slot. Let's see, which is funny because it doesn't have any support for the Arduino bars. That's interesting. I think I'm going to have to add that. So we're going to have to go paint them on. Prepare support painting. I don't really want to do that because I'm not going to put supports in those because they're small enough. They should be okay. I'm going to put a support there, there. Yeah, okay. Um, there and there. Hate to do this, but okay, so there, there, there. That way they're being held up and they can print all the way up properly. Okay, and then let's see, there and there. Okay, we're gonna put, you gotta remove that. That's removal. What is that? Oh, okay, that's the slot. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna put there, there, and there. And okay, we're gonna put there, there. It doesn't have to be perfect because that's not a load bearing surface for anything. I just don't want it hanging down because it had no support whatsoever. Okay, so, oh yeah, put that there. Did I already put it there? Okay. All right, so we've got supports everywhere. It should do the trick. Let's see how complicated this got. Turn that off. Slice plate. Okay, 5 hours, 15 minutes. Well, a little bit longer, but that's because we added more. There we go. So it's probably all good now. Wondering how this is going to work. How many times I'm going to have to print this thing to make it work. But okay. Let's see. Where's the... Here it is. Find my... SD card reader. Go. All right, export G file, screwdriver, sonic screwdriver middle. Do we have anything else in here that's sonic? Nope. Okay. Sonic screwdriver middle. All right, so minimize that. Let's go back to that. Okay, and see, that one is front. Well, I'll do some more consideration on this as to, right now we've already got the piece in there, so I'll probably go ahead and just, when I got the other one printed and I'm satisfied with it, I'll print this one and make sure that it fits together. Other than that, then we got this piece up here to do, which is going to be really easy. And let's see. And then the plug for the bottom, which I'll probably just build a generic plug, like a half moon or something to push in there. And then I can go ahead and focus on the electronics. And the only thing I'm going to worry about when it comes to this is that the LCD screen works, the lights work, they do what they're supposed to, the buttons do what they're supposed to, the speaker works through the slot, and then the lights up here work, which is probably going to be a little light board in here at this level here, which will shine up. And if that's the case, what I may do is I may end up putting a piece of mirror in the top of this to reflect it back down and increase the light around here. We'll see. I haven't decided how I'm going to do that yet, but it's going to be something, might be a little bit complicated, but we'll see. Anywho, I think that's going to be it. Thanks for coming along for the ride. We've made quite a bit of progress. I'm looking forward to getting this thing printed and wired up, and we'll see how it works. All right, till the next video.